The day has finally come when I am going to attempt canning. Marcus wants to process the rest of batch 2 and all of... No, rest of batch 3 and all of batch 2 chickens. We held off because of the hurricane. So he wants to do that all on Wednesday, which is a tough order. And it means I need to make room in the freezers for the chickens. And currently I have quite a few tomatoes in there, so... I have quite a few tomatoes ripening as well, so yeah, it's Operation Canning this week, and my freezer is a little iced up, shall we say. So yeah, I need to sort this out. It's yeah, I got a lot of sorting out, clearing, canning this week, and I never canned before, and although it looked quite easy watching it on the telly and then reading the books, getting prepared last night, and I'm like, I've got no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, wish me luck. Right, so I've got myself sort of organised. It's not de-iced, but it's good enough. I have, let's give you a size comparison, a lot of bags of tomatoes frozen to use, and still a lot more to come in. I freed up a shelf so I can freeze some more ice. Freezing the ice for processing the chickens. So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Right, I've got my canner out. I've checked it out. I've got my jars, lids. I've got the lemon juice. I've got my vinegar. I've got my paper towel for wiping the tops before I put the lids on. I've got tomatoes here. I'm just checking out the recipe. And what I want to do, make 7 pints, which, being American, the equivalent is 500 ml. That we have here, American pints, or that's as close as I can get it. So this recipe makes 7 pints. I can hold 18, so I want multiples of 9. So I'm going to quadruple this batch. So I'm going to make 28, and obviously I'll fit 27 in. So I'm probably going to have to do 1.5 times it to fill my canner. Yeah, that's about right. And then I got one for tonight, so I guess that's what we're having tonight. So I'm reading my manual, looking at everything, no idea what I'm doing still. A little bit more, I don't know. Let's just have a go. I've done a bit of maths. This is the recipe. Makes this number of pints. This is each shelf that I can fit in. So if I run the pressure canner twice, I can fit 36 jars in. 35 if I times the recipe by 5, so that's what I'm going to do. So massive batch cook day. Hopefully we'll have enough bolognese base, just the tomato, not the meat, just the tomato and the onions and everything. This is me from the future. Just popped on to say that when it came to it, I didn't think I could double stack my jars because I didn't think there was an inch above the second stack, but on rereading and checking, I don't have to have the water covering if I'm pressure canning, only if I'm water bath canning. So in actual fact, I could have had far less water, which would have made it a lot quicker. But I guess this is the first go around. But yeah, it should make it a lot easier. Next time I'll be able to fit more cans in than I did. So hopefully we'll have enough bolognese sauce to last us a fair while. So I'm not doing the meat, just the tomatoes and garlic and basil and whatnot. And I still have basil from last year. Next year I need to grow more basil. Someone remind me of that next year when I'm planting. So I've just weighed some tomatoes and realised how much it would be if I did 5 with the recipe. That's quite a lot of tomatoes. I'm just going to do one lot of the recipe, see if I like the recipe, and yeah, try and guesstimate how many more tomatoes I have and how many I can make out of it. Yeah. Okay, so the reality is I need a bigger pot. I have got another one, but I don't know the quality of it. So I have got some roasting in the oven, and I've got one here and I've got one here. So this is 20 pounds of tomatoes. This is for one recipe. So in actual fact, I probably just need to do this and upgrade. I need a decent sized stock pot, I think, to make them, or roast them slowly. So I might get the next lot of tomatoes out to start defrosting at least, So yeah, it's going to take a lot longer than I thought it was. I planted a huge variety of tomatoes to try them this year. The little yellow ones were great because they came in really, really early. The ones that I've been watching online, most people cook and can with, are the Roma tomatoes, because there's more meat and less water. And I can actually see the difference now between the slicing tomatoes and the Roma and all of them. So going forward for next year, I already know what I want to plant. I definitely want to do more of the Romas. And then just have some early ones, because I did like the yellow ones because they were in so early. They were a golden nugget variety. But yeah, and there was a lot of liquid that came out of those tomatoes. So this is what 20 pounds of tomatoes looks like, and this is ready for a hand comparison. This is ready for the next batch, but I have no more room to cook them down, so I'll literally be doing one batch at a time. So I'm obviously feeling a little bit confident and decided that I was going to also make meat stock and reduce that down and use the Instapot to cook this. This is another thing that I wanted canned and on the shelf, because I quite often do the GAPS diet or do fast and like to have bone broth for that basically. So here I am clearing a little bit more out of the freezer. I've added the bones, trying to add my carrot. I'm stuck for space, so I'm going to let this cook down a bit, and I'm going to add to it. And I'm missing some of the ingredients, which hopefully Marcus will pick up from work. So for now, that's on a go. Now everything's cooked down a little bit, I'm going to see if I can combine these two saucepans, because I want to start cooking up the onions and the garlic as well. It's quite full. I'm going to turn it down and hopefully it'll slowly reduce down a bit more. Clear up some of my spillages. There we go. So I've just blitzed these up with my hand blender. Obviously seeds, skins, everything's in it. I decided I was not going to be blanching and peeling. Next year when I want to do something a bit more sophisticated, home with ketchup or whatever, I will buy a sauce maker where I can use that to separate. This one feels a lot more liquid than the other one. This one is the one that was in the oven, so it wasn't as hot, so it wasn't evaporating the moisture off as quick and thickening, whereas this one feels pretty good. So I'm not going to fit it all in one, so I'm probably going to allow that other one to cook down a bit more before I can start on batch number 2. So I decided to go for 2 batches because that's probably the amount of tomatoes I've got, and yeah, I wanted at least a year's worth of this. So oh, I'm getting a bit brown, might need to take them out. In preparation of the first batch nearly being done, I am starting to fill the canner with water and start getting this heated up. So hopefully by the time the water heats up, this will have reduced down that little bit more and be a bit thicker. I do need to taste test and just double check I've got everything in it that needs to be in it. I don't think I've got herbs in it yet, so I'll sort that sort of thing out. So I'm adding a herb blend, which is supposed to be enough for 6 pints, so I've just added slightly more. So this is just for the one recipe, so I'm going to get that added in, mixed in. Right, I've got the canner on the stove slowly warming up. I've got my jars on a very low heat warming up in there so that I can start to tip this into the jars. So that's got the spices in. This one hasn't, because I'm waiting for it to completely reduce down.
I made an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out an old pen and wrote something for me. Then he kept walking on down the road, and I watched him disappear like smoke. And I thought I'd just seen a ghost. Then I looked down at what he wrote.
To make this lot go a bit quicker, I'm actually skimming off the tomato juice, and I'm going to make some rice this week and use the tomato juice in the rice so that I'm not waiting for it to evaporate.
It said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen one way or the other, whether you like it or not. Stop looking for the answers and you'll find what you've got.
Okay, it's on. We've had the funny little push thingy, so I've set my doodah, and hopefully it will pressurise soon, and then I can start timing. Yay! It's starting to move. Little lights up to the top for the pressure. So once we get it to where we need it to be, then we can set the timer. So made it for the first batch. As you can see, the water level's quite high, and this is what I was saying earlier. I didn't realise if you're pressure canning it doesn't have to cover, so I could have got 2 rows in, and that basket takes up way more room, and I've just got the shelves, so I will do that next time in future. And also it wouldn't have taken so long to come up to temperature and pressure if I didn't have so much water in it. So yeah, definitely a learning curve, but do you know what? I've learnt all this now, so next time it's going to be so much easier.
I met a young man.
I'll take this as a win. We managed to can up $110 worth of spaghetti sauce or tomato basil, whatever you want to call it, out of the garden, and the basil was also out of last year's garden, so truly happy with that. I'll take that as a win. Not to mention the bonus 2 litres of tomato juice, which I've been able to add to other recipes and create that flavour. It's the next morning. I've left them for 12 hours. I've removed the rings and I've checked the seals, and I think we're okay. I think there's a little bit of mess on one, so I will use that first because I'm not 100% sure on that. But overall, yeah, pretty good success. And I've got 23 jars, plus we had enough for the dinner, the evening meal, and I've got 2 jars of tomato juice as well. So yeah, going forward, I've learned so much. Next time, definitely going to do the whole tomato juice idea. It speeds it up. I'm going to remember I don't have to have so much water in my canner if I'm pressure canning. And yeah, just great experience now, and I am ready to move forward. So I've separated the bone broth from the meat and the vegetables. So the meat and vegetables will become a stew, or do something like with that for dinner. And then I'm going to get this canned up. So I'm going to strain this through a cheesecloth to get it nice and clean. And I have put the bones on again. I'll show you. So I've put the bones in again. There's still a fair amount of stuff in there, and I think we'll just have a milder bone broth out of this lot, but I didn't want to waste the bones. They're huge, and this was supposed to be for like a 16 to 20 quart, and obviously it's just, I'm just doing this in the Instapot, so I am running those bones again.
So this is Kristen's start with the old canning. So we got all the lard rendered for the fat from the pigs. We got all the Bolognaise or the tomato sauces, and lots of beef stock, and then jar stock over there, and then some pickles and stuff like that she's made. Really, really good start to the year. Pretty damned impressive. Just gotta get all the junk cleared out now and we'll be home straight.